Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. If the recent show of enthusiasm from the normally tight-lipped Terrence Crawford is any indication, the long-awaited showdown with Errol Spence Jr. may be imminent. Crawford, the WBO welterweight titleist, and Spence, who owns the IBF, WBC, and WBA belts, are thought to be on a collision course in the near future to determine, after years of seeming impasse, the undisputed champion in boxing's so-called glamour division. While there is plenty of skepticism that the fight will happen, Crawford, a native of Omaha, Nebraska, seemed convinced in a recent interview that the Ballyhode or Hood bout will materialize, in a timely fashion. I'm excited about it, Crawford said on an episode of the Porterweight podcast. I just can't wait for the contracts to get signed. You know, I get to go to training camp, just picturing myself walking down that aisle, put on a great show, because I know me. I've been waiting for this moment all my life to show everybody that doubt me who Terrence Crawford is right there, is right there. Asked if the Spence fight will happen, Crawford offered an unequivocal response. I'm always 100% confident that the Spence fight will happen, Crawford said. This year, like I said, I meant what I said. Crawford added that he believes the fight must take place in Las Vegas. For the longest time, Crawford, who's 38-0, 29 KOs, and Spence, 28-0, 22 KOs, were in promotional gridlock because Crawford was signed to Top Rank Incorporated and Spence is backed by Premier Boxing Champions, outfits that rarely do business together. Crawford, however, pushed back against the notion that a mutually reinforcing set of promotional obstacles is what has thus far prevented a fight with Spence, suggesting instead that Spence and his backers at PBC were the ones trying to make it seem there was a stalemate. Spence famously said that Crawford was on the wrong side of the street, a metaphor illustrating that Crawford needed to be with PBC in order for the fight to happen. In any case, a large impediment of the fight was seemingly removed last year after Crawford and Top Rank decided to part ways, making Crawford effectively a free agent. There have never been stumbling blocks, Crawford said. There was never a side of the street when it comes to Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford divided a side of the street. All these stipulations, all these wrong side of the street, different promotional companies and all these types of things, they made them up for Terrence Crawford. In my eyes, there was never anything that would have stopped the great fight from happening. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they fought. Crawford furthermore stated that once he defeats Spence, he plans on challenging newly minted undisputed 154-pound champion and Spence stablemate Jermell Charlo. Once I beat Spence, if Charlo don't move up, I'm coming for him, Crawford said. And basically, I agree with him. The problem is, everybody know the problem. It's PBC. PBC, I haven't talked about this because I've been waiting for everything to unveil itself because I wanted to wait because everybody who loves Spence keeps saying Crawford is ducking. How's Crawford ducking when for the past 2-3 years he's been wanting to fight? The problem is HAYMON doesn't want Spence to get cut in the ring. He doesn't want him to look as if he's lost. Now, if Spence wins, he wants it to look like Spence just dominated the fight. The past 3-4 fights, Spence has not been dominant. He's been very, very, very average. He's a great, he could fight, but his footwork needs help. I feel at times he doesn't keep his head on the swivel. He leaves himself open to counter punches and hooks, which we've seen in the past. The reason he's been able to survive is because he's going against smaller fighters. And we've seen this. We've seen what he's done. Now, if Spence wins, would I be upset? No, I wouldn't be upset because I'm a Spence fan and I'm a Terrence Crawford fan. Terrence Crawford has flaws too. He starts the fight out too slow, sort of Canelo-ish. Instead of being aggressive, he's a better southpaw fighter than he is orthodox. orthodox he gets hit a couple times. But is it the same way Spence gets hit? No, Crawford gets hit. It's not as damaging as when Spence get hit because Spence doesn't turn his head when the punch come or anything. He just takes it straight on. And it scares me sometimes because I don't want Spence to get caught up in that BS. Crawford's footwork and his technique is sound. Like when he really wants to take the fight over, he shows his dominance. Spence, I really wanted to see Spence fight Manny Pacquiao because all the other fighters to me outside of Kell Brook, I mean, Spence's resume is kind of weak. Crawford's fought Benavidez, he's fought Kell Brook, he's fought multiple guys. His resume looks a little better than Spence. But Canelo has the better overall resume because he's fought a lot of people. And then Crawford also made a point, and this is to the Errol Spence fans. Why is it that Deontay and Tyson Fury, I don't believe they're with the same ilk. I don't think they're both under PBC. And Deontay Wilder wanted that fight. Fury wanted that fight. Canelo set up a fight with Triple G. That's happening soon. Why is it these two are stalemating? Because neither fighter is ducking. I'm going to say that right now. Spence and Crawford are not ducking. The person ducking is PBC. Stands for Punani Boy Champions. Punani BIH Champions. Led by the top one, Al HAYMON, who coddles these fighters. They're not letting Spence fight Crawford because they know if Crawford gets in a ring outside of Dallas, Spence is in trouble. That's why they're trying to have it in Dallas, because they can control the surroundings. They can control what happens in and out of the ring better, because Errol Spence is from there. And you know how Jerry loves his hometown boys, and he loves to he puts on the show. But if they have this any other place outside of Dallas, Texas, Spence is in trouble. And Al HAYMON knows it. Because if Al HAYMON, like I told my boy Q Lee, shout out to my big bro Q Lee, man. We go at it. But guys, y'all got to understand. And I want to just take a break and address this. Me and Chance are brothers. Okay? We're brothers. Me and Q Lee, we brothers. Detroit T, we brothers. Mac Mizzle, Nick Jacobs, brothers. Outlaw Christian, Chris C, brothers. We are brothers. We go through our battles and our arguments. Me and Chance had an argument. I told Chance this. I got to remind him again. Bro, you are always welcome on this page. So don't ever think I'm going to block you or kick you out, boy. Please, I am not sensitive. And I am not a little kid, bro. Because where I'm from, just like where you from, we done got into it with our buddies, our brothers. We fought them. Either you won or I won, or we both, or I lost or you lost. Doesn't matter. We go back, kick it, get on these broads, get a drink, smoke one, and we good. So you guys have to understand Strictly as well. Strictly's my brother. He's hard-headed as hell. I want to slap him upside his head a few times, but that's my brother. All of us on here are not going to agree. C-Pen, for one, C-Pen scared me last year because I thought he was going to, his life was in order. That's why I love going back and forth with him to, keep his energy up, because last year, man, when I saw C-Pen in that bed, dog, I cried, dog. I really was crying because C-Pen is a good dude. He's a hard worker. He knows his stuff. It's all love. So everybody that I get into it, all of you guys, if we get into it and we have a disagreement, you guys are welcome to the page. Don't do that fugaziness and say, man, I don't like how Christian said this, or I don't like how how Detroit T said this. Well, if you got a problem, come on the StreamYard, settle it, move on. Stop being a bunch of bitches. We're men. We're men. We're going to disagree. It's gonna get heated. I'm gonna lose my voice and have my blood pressure rise. But that don't mean I'm gonna kick you out. I have never blocked anybody on this page unless they were a spammer or a troll. And you can ask everybody. CJ, who come in the chat, I got love for CJ, but he's a front runner. And he be capping on some shit. But he cool people, so he can come around here anytime he want. He showed the page love. Scoochie, me and Scoochie got into it in the chat, and I'm trying to tell Scoochie, like, you know, I had to bury him real quick in the chat, but it's no love lost. That don't mean you can't come back. Like, he was like, I'm coming to the StreamYard. I'm like, yeah, you can come to the StreamYard. Who told you couldn't? I mean, what are you talking about? Just like I told Sledge, like, bro, we're straight. Like, if I get into it with people, we get into it. See, y'all don't understand. I'm a man. I'm not a YouTube dude. I'm a man. I'm a man first and foremost. All right? Now, back to what I was saying. Al Haymon is scared that Errol Spence will get cut in this fight, and he will not look good. And he knows he got out of it with Ugas and Porter, and because those guys don't have the fundamentals and the connection of punching power that Crawford has. And that's what scares Al Haymon. Al Haymon knows. They were trying to say, oh, well, it's on Bob Arum. Well, he's not with Bob Arum no more. And plus, like Chris C said the other night, these boxers have a 1099, which means they can set up a fight themselves. They're their own business. Spence, in my opinion, wants to do it. I believe Spence really wants to fight. I believe Al Haymon is the one who doesn't want the fight. And that's the person ducking. Not Crawford, not Spence, Al Haymon, and Punani BIH champions, the PBC. That's who's dodging. So stop with the narrative of, oh, Bud's dodging, Spence is dodging. No, this dude Al Haymon is ducking, and you guys need to put the pressure on Al Haymon. Stop putting the pressure on these two fighters when the person who's doing everything is the guy you don't see, Al Haymon. So thank you guys for listening, man. Oh yeah, shout out to Joe Cool too. That's my brother too. And if I miss saying your name, man, my bad. I got love for you. So man, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you dudes love what you hear, you guys can donate to the page by hitting the description box. And basically in that description box and everything, you guys can hit that link. It'll take you to the Cash App. The Cash App link is there. You can donate whatever your heart's desire. You also can super chat while the video is live or premieres. And even after the video's over, dog, you guys can leave a super thanks. So thank you guys, man, for your blessings and support. We out. Deezy.